Alrighty, y'all. Welcome to a later edition than normal of Let's Talk. Um, hmm, I wasn't planning on doing another one, but might as well. Got a couple of things that piqued my interest. First of all, this is my time of year. I let me get my mic a little closer. Let me move a couple of things around. Get my mic a little closer to me. This is my time of year. It's track season. And Kentucky track is is so underrated. I mean, the girls were tied for second place until the mile relay. And I'm pretty sure they finished in third place. Let me confirm. Pretty sure they did because Arkansas think Arkansas women won the mile relay. Mm, Georgia passed us too. So we finished fourth. And we had some indoor conference champion winners. Triple jumper. Emmy Scales won the I was gonna say the 100 hurdles, but it's not the 100, it's the 60 hurdles. Female high jumper won. Huffnagel won the USA indoor championships. Shamel, I think, finished second in the 60. I think that's all. Did I say the triple jumper? We had a pole vaulter. I think girls pole vaulter finished in the top 3 or 4. Pretty good, pretty good championship for us. Gary, yes, you're right. Good win for the men for sure. If the women can pull off South Carolina tomorrow, it'll be even better. So I love this time of year. Um, the only thing that could be better is football is still around, and that's one reason why I had the broadcast here. If we can win these last 2 games, we're looking like a 6 seed, maybe a 5. I'm gonna stay off of that because, and it's not just us, it's just more teams. You don't know which team you're gonna get week in, week out. Um, there's a few games in conference that we probably shouldn't have lost. So I hope so. I hope so. I hope we play well the end of the season and through the conference tournament. I learned something, y'all, and it's been something that exactly you never know what's going to happen with this team. I Cobby Cobb is still hurdle you. There's no doubt for the women. For the women, the men had Daniel Roberts, but that's it. I can recall. Here's the deal, man. I really truly thought, but if you've watched me for any time, you know that I always say I'm a track guy that played football. I really thought that I love football. Mr. Turner, I don't know yet. Mr. R. Turner 28 asked, "Are you gonna be back on KSR this football season?" I hope so. I let's see if they ask me back. I really truly learned something. I'm watching Benny Snell and Lynn Bowden play for the Louisville, whatever they're called. I appreciate that, Mr. Turner. Um, for those guys, what Benny was 2018 was the last year. Or did he play another year? Lynn was gone pre-COVID, I think. So let's say 5, 6 years out. For those guys to still be interested in playing football in any kind says to me that I really love football. Because there's nowhere in hell that I was going to put my body through that again at that age after taking some time off. And I truly understand that they feel like potentially, I'm not going to put this on because I don't know. They potentially feel like they were done wrong in the league. They got some tread still there on that tire. And obviously they still love the game. And that's the whole thing. Is I realized that I really didn't like football. Because when the Rams cut me, and that would have been 2000? Or was that 99? No, 1999. It wasn't 2000. It was the 1999 season. I got married in 2000. It was the 99 season. 99 camp. I made it to the last cut. Got a concussion. And that's the real reason why I had no shot at making the team, because I was told, Charlie Army said, when I signed, if you have a concussion, we ain't signing. So I had a concussion. It's kind of crazy. Not crazy that I had one, but it's kind of crazy how all this happened, because I thought, yeah, Garrett, I was drafted in the NFL in 1990 in the 97 draft, 5th round. I think 160 something. I can't remember. So when I had the concussion, man, it was kind of like week 2. Gary, I'm old, man. I turned 50 at the end of last year. So if you are 30 and below, you have no idea who I am. And that's there's no whatever, and I can understand. So I appreciate that, Garrett. So after I had my concussion, I think I came back 2 weeks later. I actually had I didn't even think about this. This is the crazy. This adds on to this. Since Garrett is saying he doesn't know who I am, which is, I want to add another thing to add on to that. So I'm pretty sure this, and this is my claim to fame that I give myself. I'm 99.9% sure I'm the only guy that intercepted Peyton Manning in high school and in college. Add on to that story, that little, add another pin I can hang my hat on. The same game that Kurt Warner became Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner became Kurt Warner because Rodney Harrison, I'm going to call it cheap shot, Trent Green. What was that called? What was the Rams Stadium in St. Louis called? The TW? I don't know. In the Rams, well, I was just saying, we were at home in St. Louis. Trent Green blew it. Well, Rodney Harrison sacked Trent Green. I don't even think it was a sack. It was after the throw. Took his knee out, gone for the season. Trent Green was supposed to be the starter on that team. Trent Green was supposed to be the leader of the greatest show on turf. Got hurt preseason. Kurt Warner came in that game, and then, as we know, Kurt Warner became Kurt Warner. In that game, I had my first professional interception in the end zone. Ain't that some shit? I put 2 and 2 together. 2, Garrett, 2. So that's crazy. I realized after I had that concussion, I was cut, which I knew I was going to get cut. I didn't think I would make it to the final cut, because I was told that you get another concussion, you're gone. So I kind of got a false sense of security. I'm like, wait a minute, they didn't cut me after that. So because Dick Vermeil told me every position group had a meal at Dick Vermeil's house, and I had a very good summer workout. And Dick Vermeil said, keep doing what you're doing, son, and you have a really good chance of making this team. So I really, I thought, I feel comfortable saying I would have made the team. But it wasn't in God's plan. So I didn't make the team. On my drive back, and I lived in Chicago at the time, so it was only St. Louis, what? Was it 5 hours? Or was it 9 hours? It was one of those. I get my distances confused with certain other cities because, like, Atlanta's like 8 to 9 from Baton Rouge. It's 5, 7 to 9 from Chicago. From no, not Chicago. From where I lived at the time, I lived in Hoffman Estates. So I think it was 5 or 7. I think it was 5 though. So on that drive back home, after getting cut, after having to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, taking my playbook to the facility, um, I called my agent and said I'm done. Had another concussion, don't need it. I had a working opportunity waiting for me whenever if I didn't make the team. Had that agreement with because I was working prior to that. Um, they gave me that summer that time off, and they said if you don't make the team, you just give us a call. So I I think I called them first. I called them first, then I called my agent. And my agent's like, there are other opportunities for you. I could have went to the CFL. Um, there are potential other teams, but I'm like, I'm done. So I can't imagine. I don't know when last time Lynn Bowden and Benny Snell was in a camp, but for them to still love the game that much, to still want to participate and play, and then be enthusiastic about it. They showed me this week that I really didn't like playing football. I, I could, I, um, that's just I realized that, and there was points from about 2002 to now. There were intermediate instances in that period of time where I'm like, people ask me questions, I'm like, it was definitively hell no. But it was like maybe because I was people ask me, but no, really, none. So kudos to those two iconic players. When you think of the Stoops era, you think of Benny Snell, Josh Allen, Lynn Bowden. I think those are the first three guys that you think of. And I know C. Robert be in there, and probably Josh Pascal. You go to Will Levis and Wanda Robinson, but the guys who created for everybody else, because those guys that are labeled after the first three came after them. It's Benny, Josh, and Lynn Bowden. I would put T Dub in there, but T Dub came. He was in that, but a lot of people wouldn't put T Dub in there. But I would put T Dub. I put Terry Wilson as the fourth guy. I would go Benny, Josh, Lynn, Terry Wilson. Now that I say that, that's wrong because I talked so much about Steven Johnson. Jeez, I forgot about Steven Johnson. Yeesh. So I'm gonna put Benny, Josh, Steven Johnson, Lynn Bowden, Terry Wilson. Because I honestly should put Steven Johnson before everybody because there would not be a Benny and Josh Allen and Lynn Bowden without Steven Johnson. Because if Steven Johnson doesn't create those 7-win seasons, Mark Stoops is probably not coaching, and we definitely wouldn't have got Lynn Bowden. Probably would have got Josh Allen, maybe. I don't know. But I say that with the whole NFL that I'm talking about is here's something, man, that really chops my heart. The How can I say this? As a guy, and I wasn't, you don't put me on an elite level. I'm not on an elite level of players. It bothers me a lot when you see players, you see fans disrespecting NFL players because they might not have reached the expectations that some people had for them. I can't remember where I saw this, but it was someone who played with the Jets. I think it was a Florida State player who played for the Jets. It might have been I can't remember. But he had a few good years. He had an all pro year. But the Jet fans thought he was a bust. And even for myself, coming from a situation where I really thought I would last about 3 to 4 years, get that NFL pension and all that good stuff that you get from the NFL when you get your was it third or fourth accrued year. That's what I wanted. That's all I wanted to do was get that third or fourth year. Um, is that you realize when you get to my age, how many fucking players did not make it to the NFL? How many really good players that did not make it to the NFL? So if you made it on an active roster, you are truly a one percenter. When I say one percenter, that's one percenter from the age that wherever date line you want to establish. If it's little league, if it's middle school, or if it's high school, it doesn't matter. You can go either one of those. If you make it on an active roster of an NFL team, you are truly a one percenter, maybe even less than that. But I'm gonna give it the one percenter. That's a common, um, I don't know what you call common thing that would go by the one percenter. You are truly a one percenter of all the kids that have played. If you start at high school, all the kids that play on the high school team in this country and even abroad, not that many make it on a team. You got 52 times 32 teams. Not that many teams. 1,500 players, whatever it is. It's not that many players. When you think of in the state of Louisiana alone, I can't even think about how many kids play football every year. Think about California. Think about New York. Think about Florida. Like the amount of kids that play football, and for you to be one of those guys that get to the NFL, you are a true one percenter. For people to disrespect and call them lazy bums, etc. Because what it comes down to is for me is some of the people who say that wish that they had that opportunity, and they would cut their left arm off to have that opportunity to play on the NFL level. The thing about it though, you forget you forget all the journey to that time. See, because a lot of people couldn't. Let's go back to the 90s and the late 80s when I was in high school and in college. A lot of people couldn't do 2 days, couldn't do 3 practices, one walkthrough in the morning, 2 pad practices in the heat of the day and in the evening. Some of y'all couldn't go through that. So yes, you would cut your left arm off to play on Sundays. As I'll never forget, my little league coach. And here's the thing, man, I need to talk to my coaches and see if they will come on here. Here's the thing, and I had great little league coaches. They should have coached high school at the worst. A couple of them I know should have coached college. The thing about it is we work so hard. And literally, we probably worked harder than I did in high school. And these coaches, I don't. I would think all of them played at Grambling. I want to say the majority of them played at Grambling, not 100%, but the majority of them played at Grambling under Coach Rob. They always said, because we practice hard, is that y'all only see what these, because they were, we didn't get that many games. Back in the day, you weren't able to see every game. You only see the product on Saturday. But these kids work their ass off Monday through Friday. And that's what we're doing. We're preparing you we play Saturday mornings by working hard on Monday through Fridays. This is what your other peers don't want to do. Your other peers don't want to practice Monday through Friday. They want to put the uniform on and put the nice helmet, and we were the Rams and we had the horns on out. They want to wear those on Saturday, but they don't want to do the shit that we do on Monday through Friday. And for fans, it's the same thing. Yes, I understand y'all play high school football. Wish you could have played college. You understand the shit that college athletes go through. Let's not go through the season. Let's go when the season is over with. The morning workouts, the spring, and we didn't have when I first got college. We didn't have these rules. How many spring practices you could have and the amount of hours. You had spring football practice. You had weights. You had off-season workouts. You had voluntary mandatory workouts in the summer. Voluntary mandatory. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy. It was voluntary, but it was mandatory. Workouts in the summer. Then you got fall camp. And fall camp when I played was 2 days. Full pass. Both days. So the disrespect and the why don't they do this? Because if I had, it's not quite that easy, y'all. It really isn't quite, because the process is deeper than what you think it is. It's way deeper than what you think it is. And it's hard to explain unless you've been in it. And that's why, like I said, one of these broadcasts the last few days, is like, that's why it pains me. Social media is I look at some of my teammates sideways because some of the things that they state on social media. But there's one thing that will never happen for me, is I would never disrespect my teammates, because I know what we fucking went through for the 4 years I was at Kentucky. If you made it through the 4 years with me, I always have your back. Even if I don't agree with your views, your thoughts, some of the things that you say, there's a level of respect that I will always have for my teammates, because I know what they went through. And it pains me to see. And I know it's, people trying to ruffle feathers, but the disrespect, man, it's like, hey, we had David Gustin participate in the combine, which, as I said, you watched a couple of shows ago, I think the combine is archaic, and he did well. And there was a couple people that brought up, who the hell is this guy? We never seen. This is the first time I ever heard of him. And I understand the sentiment, but that's the disrespect is something that when the guy was actually a good player for us. He only played for a year. It's like, I understand that, some other players, you were able to see the progress year to year and then see them evolve and see them become a better player year after year. I get it. That's not where we are now. We are in a portal. And what that guy did when he was healthy definitely helped this team. He was not a no-show. He was probably one of the better defensive players on that defense. But again, the disrespect is that it. And I understand for the fans that maybe the fans don't see the game like I do as a former player who sees more than the average person. I get it. But to disrespect that man who played hurt towards the end of the season by you don't know who he is, I can't stand by it. I understand he plays a position that is not a position that most fans will understand the value. But then I would say ask somebody. Ask me. Tag me in a statement and say, do you think then I can give you my, and I'm not going to lie to you. If he wasn't doing shit, I'm going to tell you. This guy was a stud for us in a non-glamorous position in our team. Like some people say, well, he wasn't better than this player. Well, I'm going to tell you something. When you play along the side of Deone Walker, who commands all the attention, you get one-on-one blocks. And you better perform. Because in our defense, someone's going to get double. And it's usually the nose. If it's not the nose, want to understand this. I'm going to get into it a little bit. If you're the nose tackle in a 3-4 defense, you playing over the center. I want people to understand this. So you got a center, you got 2 guards, 2 tackles. If you playing nose on our team, you playing over the center. Okay? I want you to understand there's no one over the guards in a 3-4 defense. The 2 linebackers are stacked over the guards, but they're like 5 yards away. The other 2 defensive linemen are inside eye of the tackles. So just think about it. The tackles are covered and the center is covered. So the person who gets double teamed on 90% of the plays is the fucking nose tackle. Because the guards have direct, one of them will hit him. If the play is coming to, one of them guards is going to double team the nose. If you don't double team the nose, remember the center has to snap the ball, then try to get his hands on the nose tackle. There's a reason, I don't want to get into the intricacies of it, but there's a reason why teams like to run the 3-4 because now it puts stress on the center because he's got to get his hands on that big MFer or that MF is going to cause problems. So you put a guy with a center, so now he's got to be able to snap the ball and get his hands. So one of those guards has to attack you. All right? So now just imagine if you have Deone Walker. One of the guards has to double Deone Walker. Now think about this for a second. If I'm a nose tackle and I'm over the center and Deone Walker's to my left and that the right guard but the guard to the left of me as a nose tackle, I know it's going left. Guess what I can do as a player? I got both A gaps. But now I know that I got a little bit of a slide over to my left. Because I know that guard ain't going to be there. So it makes my job as a nose easier. Because if one guard got to go to Deone, if one of those guards don't go to the linebacker, you got 2 linebackers untouched. Because the other defensive lineman is in the inside eye of the tackle. So in essence, he's warding off. He's got B gap. So one One of the guards got to go to Dion. The other guard has to go to the nose tackle. If they do, both inside linebackers have no one on them. Now, one of those guards can chip and get to the next level line, but they still got to worry about them two guys. So that's why playing with Dion makes playing nose a little bit easier. You get one-on-ones with that center more often. And if you can't be the center after he snapped the fucking ball, you are a sorry ass nose tackle. So to disrespect Gusta like that because he might not have had numbers like somebody else who played with Dion Walker. I don't mind players being criticized because I fucking do it. But don't disrespect them unless they really truly suck. Unless they really truly truly suck. Well, what do I want to go to next? Because I saw two things. I'm gonna go here, then I'm gonna end with track. I saw some things that, and I tweeted out this week that high school players are using AI now to make better highlight films. I don't know what the hell you can do as a college coach now. Now, if you pay attention, it's obvious when it's an AI, but it's going to get to a point where it's not going to be so obvious. It's going to get to a point where you truly have to watch film from Huddle. You can't even get a kid's highlight film. You gotta tap into the kids' high school coach in their huddle. Because if the kid edits something, you don't know if it's real or not. And that's a disgrace because now you just can't trust no one, even a prospective athlete. You gotta go through you gotta go a vetting process. You might have to hire someone that solely is responsible for seeing if these are AI, if these are edited highlights. That's crazy. I can't believe that these kids have the audacity to try and trick college coaches. Because I'm gonna say this one thing right now, and I'm not a college coach, so I don't know if this is how this will be treated and executed, etc. But I know one thing: if I was a college coach and your ass edit highlight films to give the impression that you have doctored highlights to make yourself look good, you are off my board. I can't trust you. You're off my board. There's no way. A great athlete isn't going to edit it because he already has enough highlights. Shit, if you play in high school, you should have enough damn highlights. And if you got to create some highlights to make yourself look better, I don't want you. And I hope that's what coaches are doing. If y'all doctoring film, you ain't good enough. So why I want you on my team? Like that's a strike. That's 3 strikes. That's not even strike one. That's 3. I want trustworthy kids on my board. I don't need guys who are trying to elevate themselves with AI. Come on. That makes no damn sense. No damn sense. I'm going to end it with this. And I don't know if you have seen it, but I think it was shit. Was that it was the end of this week. We still do you still count Sunday? Yeah, it's still Saturday. It's the end of this week. Um it's a SWAC had their indoor conference championship for track. And this is the thing. I'm gonna put a pin in what SWAC had their conference championship. I never forget this, y'all. I can't remember where my family was going, but we stayed in a hotel. I'm gonna say it was in Tallahassee. And here's the thing. Put another pin. We stayed in hotels. Got a pin. SWAC conference championship. Another pin. Hotel in Tallahassee. All right. I want y'all to understand that my mom and dad are from a city called Woodville, Mississippi. A little small town, less than 1,500 people. Alcorn State, Steve McNair University, because that's what most people will understand. There's more great players from there, but if I say Steve McNair, I think the majority of football fans will understand who I'm talking about. Steve McNair went to Alcorn State. Actually went to Alcorn State while my cousin was there. So Alcorn State is near and dear to my family's heart because it's like 40 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes away from my parents' hometown. So a lot of kids go to Alcorn State because it is the closest university. And it's a HBCU. So put a pin in that. So I'm done with that. So Alcorn State means a little something to me. So we was in this hotel in Tallahassee. And we're downstairs eating the breakfast. And there were a shit ton of European and white girls in Alcorn State apparel. Now, for me, that was my first time. They were on a tennis team representing Alcorn State University. It was an eye opener for me. It was an eye opener. And much respect for them. Because for them to want to continue their athletic career at Alcorn State says a lot about them. Because it ain't that many people that look like you on Alcorn State campus. So you have to integrate yourself in a situation that's totally different from your normal upbringing. You are now the minority by a long shot. Not even close. And for you to know that and to say, yes, I still want to go to that university in the middle of nowhere, it's totally different when you're going to FAMU that's in Tallahassee or you're going to Howard University that's in Washington, D.C. That's a totally different situation for me. Even going to Jackson State that's in Jackson, totally different situation for me because you're in a big city where you can easily get to situations where there are people whom you can identify with culturally. But for you to go to Alcorn State University, no one even knows what the damn city name is, and to play tennis for them says, tip my hat to you. So what happened is, if you have seen it, is this, and Grambling is in a country area. It's just like Alcorn State. All right. It's in Grambling, Louisiana, but it's in the northern part of Louisiana, close to Ruston, etc. So it doesn't matter because you don't even know what Ruston. It's in the middle northern part of the state. And they have a white individual that runs the mile indoor. It was a black kid, HBCU, so that goes without saying. And this white kid had the best time, and the black kid passed him, did a little celebration, looked in the stands, and he beat the white kid at the finish line. And the because the black see I know the black kid was really a half miler who was trying to help his team, and he beat the white kid who was supposed to. He was a favorite, and he got overexcited, and that struck the white kid. It made him angry, and he gave their perception of he was going to go after him, but his coach stopped him. Ain't nobody going after no one. So with it being Black History Month and white guy on the team, it got hyped really high. And if you really saw, like after the race where they give their medals, all that shit was gone. Yes, in the moment, everybody's heated. But at the end of the day, it's just athletics. And you give that guy, we come back at the end and be like, yeah, good race, blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the race, there was no animosity. But there was a whole social media thing with it. And the Grambling coach ran at Kentucky. If you don't know, Lamont Vaughn Jr. ran at Kentucky when I was at Kentucky. Don't know him, not friends with him, but I know he ran at Kentucky when I was there. So he posted something, and it's just fans go crazy, and it makes no damn sense. Like, it's crazy how the narrative is created, and I get it. I truly get it, especially with the things that are going on in the climate of this country. I get it. But those athletes don't feel the same way. It honestly, as an athlete, it didn't matter that guy was white, black, green, purple. This guy won the race for his team. That's what he was excited for. He wasn't excited because he passed with the white kid. He was excited because he got 10 points for FAMU. Fuck who he got it around now. For the outsiders, it looks better because he beat. But I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to go back to this. And you would never hear me say race is not a factor. Race is always a factor. I'm going to say this. And I'm going to end with this. Just like I said with those ladies who played tennis for Alcorn State. It's the same thing. That young man for Grambling is doing the same fucking thing. I'm just, as a black man that went to a PWI, to understand that the amount of people on campus that look like you is not high. And for that young man to go to Grambling, it's worse than my experience as far as numbers at Kentucky. It's worse than any black player, athlete at any PWI institution, including Ivy Leagues. To go on the HBCU campus and participate as a sport as a white individual, you are more outnumbered than any black guy at a PWI, a black athlete at the PWI. And for that guy to have, see, the thing about it, we have to realize, not only is he on the team, he has the support. Because if he did not feel welcome, he would not be there. His teammates love him. His coach loves him. So I know the narrative that was concocted around that scenario brought out some things. Some things I truly understand as a black man why it came up. I'm going to say this, but at the end of the day, we have to tip our hat to some of these. I'm going to just say this. these non-black and brown individuals that are at these traditional HBCU colleges participating in a sport where there's not a lot of people that look like them. There's not a lot of people at the conference meet that looks like them. There's not a lot of people in a lot of these rural areas that look like them. And I'm going to honestly say this, I don't know, but I'm going to say this. For them to humble themselves and to go to some of these, like you go to Prairie View A&M, you go to Texas Southern, both of those in the city of Houston, that ain't, I'm like, it's kind of cool that you go into it, but in the end of the day, it ain't that, But if you going to Valley State, Mississippi Valley State, you're going to Alcorn, if you're going to some of these, I can't, Tuskegee, some of these other places that are in small towns, kudos to you, man. Kudos for you humbling yourself and trying to still compete in the sport that you love for as long as you can. And like I said, I know the narrative, the way it was weaved in certain circles, I get it. But at the end of the day, I think we have to also, just because he got upset in a situation where he was antagonized a little bit, we all would have reacted the same. Disappointment, the guy showing you up, excessive celebration, it triggers you. Nothing happened, but you can understand why he's been triggered. But again, at the end of the day, I'm going to give that guy the biggest tip of the hat that I can give because I understand being in Grambling, Louisiana, at that institution, looking like you look when there's not that many people on campus that look like you, says a lot about your character. And I'll say this, I respect you to the highest level. All right, y'all. That's all I got. Hope y'all have a good rest of your weekend. And hopefully I'll see y'all sometime next week. And I'm out.